Welcome back to TWC, the Home Improvement Podcast. And we're here today at the Platform Project, an incredible cause that TWC have chosen to team up with in more ways than one. And we're going to find out so much more about this incredible project that's ongoing. Welcome back. So welcome back to TWC, the Home Improvement Podcast. Greetings, Joe.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. You all right?
Yeah, very well.
I feel scared with that look there. And I will jump for a second because we got Andy as well, obviously,
Hello.
from TWC. Greetings.
Yeah. Hello.
But we got a very special guest, the CEO of the Platform Project, the founder of the Platform Project, Sadie Sharp.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I feel very much like everyone's on trial.
Yeah, best of luck. Well,
Thank you.
question, good luck.
Okay.
Yeah, strap yourself in.
Lock the door.
I'm going to start with the most obvious, first of all. Actually, no, I'm going to step back for a second. Guys, any new awards that you're up for?
We have actually, haven't we?
Yeah, GTP Awards been voted in again. Bloody hell. Tough old life, isn't it? Another one.
We'll win this one.
What, is it not just about the events?
Yeah. No, we're sort of. Yeah, it's not about the winning, is it? It's about the taking part. That's what I tell myself.
I've seen the parties, it is. Well done, and good luck with that one then.
Thank
guys.
you. Yeah.
March 21st and 22nd, I understand you've got an art exhibition that you're in your showroom as well.
We have indeed, yeah.
That's exciting, isn't it? Yeah, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, a big thing for us is utilising that space. We've got that amazing showroom, which obviously we always try and encourage people to come down to. But actually for us, you know, with some of the things we do, like the grotto and bits and pieces like that, it's actually about just trying to utilise that space and trying to get people in there. So we've got a big art exhibition, which we're looking forward to.
Seriously cool. And that is a free-for-all. Go to the website and you'll be able to find the details in due course on the socials, all of that, and come on down and check out.
We're going to hang some of my art up there as well.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. I know Joe, a bit of an artist myself. So,
Well, so he's going to be doing the music and you're going to be doing the painting.
correct.
Got
Obviously, we have got real artists.
No, it's not that. It is incredible stuff. Sarah was showing me some of the examples. It's phenomenal
amazing.
stuff.
Yeah.
So good luck with that, guys, and get yourself down there. Right, the big one, the Platform Project. First up, Sadie, what is the Platform Project?
So the Platform Project came into fruition in my brain back in around about 2015. And I jumped out of bed in the middle of the night because I was like, actually, somebody should do this. Like, I got this idea. At the time, I'd been working with a few non-profits who worked with young people, trying to help them kind of find homes and stay in school and having mentors and mental health and all these sorts of things. And I thought all of them did some really great work. But for me, the bit that kind of sort of pulled it all together was helping young people with something that was sort of practical, because it's like you can't really move into sort of careers and work and all those things that ultimately will give you that sort of sustainable, thriving life if you don't get a taste of that. And actually so many young people these days don't get the opportunity to just cut their teeth in different types of jobs, even if they can get a job younger, which they can't so easily now. And I was actually putting something together that gives young people practical experiences to work out what they do, maybe what they don't want to do, but building confidence and the skills and all of those sorts of things. And I thought, actually, somebody should do this project. You know, it's essentially a bit like The Apprentice, kind of, you know, something new under the sun, as they say. It sort of started with that as an idea. And I leapt out of my bed at like 3:00 in the morning one day because I'm that sad, and I plastered all these flip charts around my kitchen, and I was like, here it is. And then obviously kind of that enthusiasm didn't necessarily catch on as easily as I thought it would do when you have a great business idea, and you're like, why wouldn't people give me money for this stuff? So it took me about 2 years to get some funding and sort of volunteers and all that sort of stuff. And what we essentially do now, we've got lots of different programs that now work with young people all the way through from around about 7 years old up to about 24. And essentially we kind of started off trying to help young people get into work, so hence the sort of employability links with local businesses. But what we realise is that a lot of them that struggle to get into work have the same experiences when they're sort of school age.
Yeah.
So whether they've got like additional learning needs, or they've got mental health issues, or whatever it might be. Some of them have got horrendous starts in life with kind of family circumstances and things. And then even earlier in primary, when they're not able to go to school because they just aren't getting their needs met. And actually that has such a knock-on effect. So rather than just looking at work and work experience and helping people kind of launch those careers, well, actually, if we can help them earlier, then hopefully they won't end up in that bucket and they won't need us by the time they kind of like leave school. So that's what we do. We've got loads of different programs now around mentoring, sort of therapeutic mentoring and tutoring for those that just need something that's more practical and, you know, got a football fascination. So rather than learning about English, you do bios on the players and things. So it's all really practical. It's supposed to look and feel very, very different to school and much more like work and those various different career pathways that they could look at.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
I've always had a feeling, without meaning to get political, because I don't mean it politically, is that I think education in general, for even those that haven't got the challenges, is very much teaching all fish to climb trees.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, that doesn't work for all kids, but there's only a one-size-fits-all, isn't there?
No, there certainly is, yeah. Well, my son, he's 10, he's homeschooled. I was talking to Sadie just before this, and everyone's different. I know from my schooling years, I needed something different. I wasn't, you know, I'm fantastic at learning things. I pick things up very quickly, but in the conventional school arena, that wasn't really something that was very useful to me myself. So yeah, it's really impressive for what you've done here. It really is. Fair play.
Yeah, it's been very experimental all the way through.
Well, I can almost imagine though that it's a constantly changing, not even just evolving. I would imagine because of the variety of circumstances.
Yeah,
it's got to be constantly looking and changing as you go, because every person's going to have a different set of requirements.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is we work really closely with like local authorities and schools and things, because ultimately they can only do what they can do within sort of budgets and politics and policy decisions and things.
Yeah, they
and
change
it's like,
constantly, don't they?
You know, everyone does that work because they want to do the best job. But as you say, kind of the diversification of those needs are just getting broader and broader, and more kids are falling through the cracks. So for us, it's kind of like working with them to say, well, what can you do and what can you do well? What maybe are you not able to service and how do we evolve our programs to sort of fit those gaps? So therefore, by the nature of what we do, no 2 years are the same because the need evolves. So therefore, we kind of have to with it.
Absolutely. And I get the impression, correct me if I'm wrong, that as well as education in general, but there is that the apprenticeship model is also not a fit all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's really interesting, there's a general kind of recognition that there needs to be more work-based stuff. You know, everybody's talking about it. There are now adaptations within the education system, like T-levels and kind of, you know, the evolution of trying to get more young people into work and those work experiences. But obviously it takes time to have that as sort of like a mainstream model. And then you've got very well-intentioned policy decisions like with apprenticeships, but then it's a lot of them will need you to have maths and English to get into. So again, for some kids, that's fine. But for others, actually, if they couldn't get their maths and English.
You couldn't,
and this is with a lot of the young people we work with, they either couldn't make it to the end of school, or they don't have an A to C equivalent, or whatever it is these days. Shows my age, doesn't it? Yeah. But they don't have that to be able to go into an apprenticeship. So then you're kind of looking at almost like different levels of young people's needs, but actually they're the ones that, as you say, give them the right environment and they will probably fly very quickly. Yeah. We did some work with Nationwide a little while ago, training some of their grads and their managers on when they get their first job inside Nationwide. But they recruit sort of high-flying grads and kind of top talent pools. And even they were struggling with young people with this being their first professional role because they hadn't had a job before. Yeah. So even just the expectation around giving and receiving feedback and turning up on time and building that professional brand. And these are the ones that necessarily haven't had all those challenges like the young people that we work with. So I think not having that exposure to the workplace really early on, we're seeing kind of generational impact from that now, I think.
There's so many other areas that I want to go in on this, and I'll try and sort of take us on a little bit of a journey. And I very much want to talk about TWC's, decision to make this part of their chosen charitable cause.
Yeah.
Can I get away with that one? Is that right? Yeah. I took a run up. Make sure I get it right, because you're a CIC.
Podcast name.
Yeah, I know.
The fact you remembered that is very impressive.
Look, Dave, be quiet.
Edit that down.
But yeah, you're right. We are a CIC, so it's a community interest company. So we have a balance of kind of funding, and we sort of trade our services to schools and things as well. So we try and operate like a business, because we kind of believe that what we're doing is too important to just be reliant on funding. We've seen so many charities that kind of have to scale down when the money stops. So, and the corporate control freak in me is a bit like, no, we need to have that level of sustainability.
Like if you
so
could be self-sufficient without funding, that puts you in a strong position.
That's what we try here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not beholden. I like that one.
So every time they change a policy or
I
something.
know. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy to take grant funding. We just know that it's not prevalent.
It is tricky, isn't it? Well, to then come back to the TWC lineup, I mean, a key phrase that I saw is the shared values around opportunity, confidence and community. And we both online and offline, we've been having conversations that this is something very close to your hearts.
Massively. It's what, to be honest, is what TWC's been built on.
Yeah.
People that maybe wouldn't get on in the kind of mainstream job or something that's, very corporate environment or something like that, but people that have got incredible skills. And it's unearthing those skills and putting them to work in the right environment, surrounded by other people that can encourage that and watch that grow. And I think that's why, when we met and sort of talked about different options that could happen now in the future and things like that, they just our ideas on that align perfectly, really.
Yeah.
And when you look at the speed in which TWC has grown year on year, it's from taking people on and giving people a chance and things like that, and as I said, people that maybe would walk into a job interview and in a certain environment and just not be able to do it at all, but they come to TWC and find this like-minded people that look at what they're good at and encourage that.
Yeah, and I think it's giving people confidence, isn't it? And I loved what you said a minute ago in terms of the football biology, the stats on a football. When kids or people can talk about something they're interested in, all of a sudden that kid that can't read or write a book, but they can tell you every player that's ever played for Man United and scored a goal and remember things. And it's, what we've done really well is always get confidence out of people. We give young kids that go knocking doors, that do marketing, and, you watch them very quickly grow from. My son didn't do very well in school. He struggled at school. He's been with us now on the marketing team for a year and a half, and the confidence that he's got, he's a completely different child.
Yeah, different character.
My sister struggled quite badly when, in the last few years, and she's now part of our living space management team. And actually her coming into work with TWC, you've seen the confidence that's just grown out of her.
It's a completely different person.
When I first told her she was going to come to work, I won't go too deep into her story, but when I first told her that she had to come to work and I'm the head of the family, so she's coming to work, she burst into tears. She had such anxiety about it. Now, I think the other week she held a meeting with 20 people and did it, so bringing out confidence in people is really important. And that's why what you do so clever, and in terms of getting kids to have that confidence to go and do so. Because as soon as you're confident, I've learned with Joey, 90% of what Joe does is just absolute confidence. You know what I mean?
I don't know anything, but I just pretend I do.
Yeah.
I often use the swan analogy.
Quote right there.
So like confidence, not competence.
Yeah. The swan analogy, beautiful swan going along, but underneath it's like, what the hell's going on?
If you've ever watched any of his videos, you can clearly see he hasn't got a clue what he's going on about.
But I deliver it with confidence, and everyone believes it.
These doors are available in lots of colours. He confidently says it, so therefore it's great.
Well, I think that there's that flip side, isn't it? Is that you'll always have confidence in something that you're interested in, but you can also become interested in something that you are confident in. So if you're giving them the confidence, you might kind of go, oh, well, I wouldn't be interested in doing that physical job, that physical skill. But as soon as you gain confidence, you will find you enjoy it. And it will sometimes be things that you'd have never dreamed.
100%.
And that it's giving people that opportunity to get that hands-on that opens those opportunities.
Yeah, I think one of the earliest sort of phrases, and I can't remember who said it or where I heard it from, but it said you can't learn to swim if you don't get wet.
Yeah.
And I think it's very similar with like work and confidence. You know, confidence is contextual. You can't build confidence for the workplace until you're in the workplace. Yeah. And you can't decide what career paths you do and don't like until you've actually tried those career paths. And you just don't get the brevity of experiences now. So I think to have workplaces that have multiple roles, that all of them do have entry level opportunities is rare but really needed. A lot of organisations, the only entry level roles you have are not necessarily the ones that young people would gravitate towards, but to have so many that you can provide those kind of experiences in, that this is what it would look like and it could be accessible to you, is gold.
And I don't know whether it's I don't know whether it's just me or maybe I don't look at it anymore, but do you know when like we were younger, you had paper rounds, you had leaflet distributing, you had things that younger people could go and do, pot wash. You know, nowadays, so, and I'm not trying to turn it political, but it's so regulated and so safeguarded that, you know, we don't have any young lads or kids going out delivering leaflets and stuff. We'd get in absolute trouble if someone, you know, and we've kind of lost that as a nation, haven't we? That's what I had a paper round. I know Joey had a couple of paper rounds, I believe. He used to do 2 or 3 on his bike.
With confidence.
With confidence. Well, in fact, my own mother actually questioned it. On the day before my 13th birthday, I'd signed up at the newsagents to do a paper round, and they phoned up on the landline, show my age there, and they said, "Oh, we're just checking that Joe's going to be able to come in for a paper round the next day." And my mum said, "You'll never be able to get up 6 days a week at 6 a.m. and do a paper round," and I proved her wrong. And within a couple of months, I actually had 2 paper rounds. So.
No, we've heard the story.
Hammered down.
What Joe hasn't told you, he actually holds the record for Guildford of the quickest 27 papers delivered in. I think you had a record for
24.
That, 24 was it? I do apologise.
Was it recorded?
Oh no, Joey. You know the word record is literally recorded. He just claims that these records. No, there's not anywhere. You can't chat AI.
We can't argue it.
Don't worry about that. No, but
it's recorded.
For me as well, someone said to me once, no one is born confident. It's a learnt skill. And I think, as we said, some kids go to school and they fit in really well, and for them they gain confidence from like, this is easy, I can do this. Whereas other people need a different way of doing that and finding something that they are passionate about, or finding something actually I can do this, and that is I think a really sort of important part of what these guys do here.
And I personally believe that confidence is not the absence of nerves or insecurity. It's actually being able to manage it and get on and do it. You know, I with all the, like my motorsports commentating and hosting awards nights and things like that, I'm terrified, yet no one believes me, but it's just because I've learned how to, embrace the adrenaline from it. And if you don't get those chances to do it, then you're never going to go, okay, I'm getting the adrenaline, but remind myself I can do it because I've seen myself do it already.
Well, I can imagine you sort of getting ready in the mirror in the morning, sort of thinking, right, you know, what can I not do today? You know, I better not forget the name of the podcast.
So,
you know, something like that would be something that might give you, some anxiety about it. But actually, you just roll with it, and that's,
I mean, he doesn't forget the name of the company on the invoice. No, I'm joking. No, but I'll be honest. I second that. When we first had the conversation with Sarah at Evil Empire about this podcast, I was like, absolutely no chance. I was told it was going to be a recorded one, and I thought, I can deal with that. Within a week or 2, you were sat in front of us. I can turn this visual, and I was like, bugger off. But yeah, now I hate it just as much.
But you don't argue.
But I don't argue. I'm confident. Yeah. And the thing is, repeat.
You can't see underneath the desk. His little legs are like that.
You can see me. They have to. I drink water. I hate it, but I confidently hate it. So no.
I agree. Right, moving on quickly.
Yeah. We've digressed.
The Buddy Up work experience model. Now, is this something that is what you guys have done together, or is it something you already had?
No, this is a brand new one for us. So one thing we've always struggled with is we've had lots of companies kind of get in touch and say, we'd love to work with you. How can we do that? And I think what we've always struggled with the young people we work with, it's the confidence to get them in, but in a very light touch way. Whereas some businesses will say, oh, we can take one young person for work experience in these dates. And it's like, actually that doesn't always work with the young people we're working with, because they do come in for like 1 session a week or 2 sessions a week. It's not a kind of a school model sort of thing. So to have the ability to almost kind of start with shadowing and almost a bit like say, oh, it's a research opportunity. There's no expectations. It's all very light touch, let's not even call it work experience. You're just going to go and have a look at what's required in this role. And then, oh, look, there's some really nice guys around. You have a chat, see how they got to where they are. And, oh yeah, no, they feel nervous when they do new things as well. So yeah, well done for turning up and being surrounded with those very informal sort of cultures, I think, is something that's really important for the young people we work with. So for me, when we were all talking and Sarah was talking about actually how can we do that inside the business, and she said you've got so many of those roles that could have entry-level opportunities, the culture and the informality, I think, around the culture really sort of would work with our young people. And the buddy model particularly is like, they have that person, they have that go-to. It's not like, oh God, it's just me and where do I go and what do I say? And, can I do this? Can I not? And then they just sort of sit and file paper clips for the day, and it's just it's a waste of an opportunity. So to have somebody say, it's not a massive commitment on your time, you're just going to have them for a day or a morning, and they're just going to kind of follow you, ask some questions, show them what it might look like if they did want to join, and then if they like it, there might be further conversations. No pressure.
Which is good then from the employer's perspective, as I see it, because it's not that you're there going, right, we've got to find work for them to do. It's like, no, the work's happening. They are buddying up and shadowing someone who's doing that. So that's got to presumably make it easier from your perspective.
I think what's good for us as well is we've got lots of different roles within the business. So it's kind of there's marketing side, there's sales, there's installations, there's work on the phones, there's all these different options. So actually they can come along, watch how it happens, watch the social interactions. I was talking to someone about that the other day, about they used to work from home and, now they're back in the office, and they didn't realize how much that being sat next to someone talking about what you did at the weekend or this or that, and those interactions that you have are part of that working day. And to get them into that and seeing it firsthand is brilliant.
I think the benefit for the kids as well, in terms of what they get out of it, is someone might want to think that they want to go into sales or installations, and it's almost not having that confidence to apply for anything or put themselves out there. Actually, with this, you can go on with an installation team or installation department. I know we've got to work through some HSE stuff and see exactly what can be done, but it gives them just a snapshot with people that will be used to having a buddy on this buddy up scheme. And it gives them an insight to what it actually is, because work can be quite scary, can't it, for kids who didn't like school? If you didn't like
anything
school,
you don't know, is scary.
It could be quite scary.
Of course. Well, especially as like you guys, and we've covered it many a time, is that there's like a whole family feel in TWC, and that is amazing. And everyone who works there enjoys it. But if you come in,
well, that's what they say to you.
They do say
we are in the background.
But someone could suddenly come from the outside into that, and it could feel daunting until you're sort of welcomed into that, and you have the confidence to become part of it. But equally, if you went in and it was work experience, and you're given, okay, you're going to have a go at this task, you're only going to be able to do a bit of it. Or and as the employer, you're only going to have the confidence to give them a bit of it. Whereas if you're buddying, you get to see it all, how it happens properly. And I can almost imagine the mind buzzing when you come back and go, oh, wow, I didn't realize that you got to do all of this, and find, especially with your variety of positions, is that they might go in, you mentioned sales as an example, they might think that's what they want to do. And then they, I don't know, go another way, the installations team, and they go, I love that. I'd have never have thought it, but that I loved.
I think there's some silent barriers as well, particularly for like the young people that we work with, where they're not gelling very well with school, as you kind of alluded to sometimes. But if they keep hitting those kind of walls, then they think, oh, maybe I'm the problem. And then the confidence drops and the self-aspirations drop. But then there are some that come to us and they're maybe not expected to finish school. But then because they've then found something that they they enjoy and they like the team, and we're very informal here. So I think their experience here very much gels well with workplaces like yours, because it is informal. It is kind of a sort of a workplace family. And I think it was only when we had a few school kids who were working with us, and then when they left and then they got some jobs with you, and like, who is this company? And they're like, oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And obviously that's where the conversation started. But I think for me, those that come to us at, let's say, 18, because they have dropped out of the system, they are struggling to get work. They do think they're the problem. They're like, I haven't got anything on my CV, so why would somebody even consider me for a role, let alone me stand a good chance? But I think that the invisible barrier is, well, actually, they don't know what they don't know. So all they're seeing is the fear and what they don't have. Whereas actually, if they did come in and sort of shadow, they maybe see, oh, actually, there are some incentives at the other side of it. It's a lovely feel. I get that. I could get that sense of belonging rather than being isolated because they've just been in their own world for the last 6 months or so and having a very much smaller circle and not belonging to anything. So I want that enough to get over that initial apprehension and fear. I can see the longer term opportunities in the jobs. Although I know I can't do that cool one there, I can see a pathway to get to it. So I think seeing those opportunities can maybe overcome some of those silent barriers.
Yeah, and seeing's believing as well, isn't it? Yeah. They come in and actually, I could do that. Yeah. Whereas before they thought that, well, I'd no way I could do that. Whereas actually, if you go in and see someone do it and see in action, it gives you that.
And I think sometimes apprenticeships can also be seen as school still, do you know? When you go for apprenticeships, it can still feel a little bit because it's so college-led.
Yeah, because it's still got a formal educational piece.
It's kind of with that sort of thing. I know that can be quite off-putting for certain people who didn't like school. So,
and like you said about the qualifications, so many of them need your maths and your English and stuff like that. But if you haven't got that, it's all well and good. But it's a non-starter, isn't it?
You know, if you need maths and English, you straight away your mind goes to, oh no, this is going to be like school. This is going to be.
I didn't like school.
Yeah. I think that I mentioned the word pride there, is that it gives them that opportunity to see whether it's, you think you go sales, you have pride when a sale is closed, when it's that you physically doing the installations and you step back and go, that looks the business. You know, to go, oh, so in a job, I can have that pride of created something that felt good. You know, they might be used to it with, they do well at a game or a sport or art or something like that. And it's like, oh, I can have that feeling in work as well. And by getting out and doing it, what does a buddy day typically look like then? I mean, we've alluded to the fact that they get to job shadow, and I don't know who I should aim that question to, really. Is that yours or these guys?
Well, the plan is, I mean, we're still in court to exactly how it's going to work, but I suppose the plan is to open up different departments. Come up with a plan in terms of how these days will look. Obviously, there's all the safety and stuff that needs to be looked into correctly, but the plan would be to key departments, some buddies go in with them. There's questionnaire that they fill in, to see how it goes. And then, just learn about the job, shadow someone all day. And I think what people will get out of it quite quickly is you'll realise that the people working are just normal people like them. There's nothing to be scared of. It's building confidence. And actually, if they do something at work that's good and they feel good about themselves, then that's where the confidence will come from, I think.
And I think also hearing, like you said, hearing the stories of the people in and around them, that we celebrate the fact that, TWC has been built in an unconventional way. Andy famously recruiting on FIFA once, for someone that 12 years later is still working for the company and things like that.
So was really down on his luck. On his luck.
Which means he's a massive advocate of TWC.
He's been for 12 years.
What you did.
I used to play FIFA with him online and found out he was struggling and said, look, I'll give anyone a chance. If you get on this train that I pay for today, I bought him a ticket, you get on this train, I'll give you somewhere to live and give you a job. Fair play, he turned up.
12 years later, still
12 years later, still working.
Well, wasn't the story your niece was no real confidence in front of people?
Yeah.
Now she can own
now
that showroom. But she loves it when visitors come in, whereas she openly said is that prior to all of this, she just...
I don't know if that's a good one though, Chris, because she was less gobby back then, if I'm being honest. Back a lot. So I know I'm here to talk about success stories. I'm not fond of that one.
I was going to file on confidence.
Yeah.
I think hearing...
I made a mistake on that one.
It's all well and good us saying saying, you know, oh, well, if you go in, you'll do this, you'll get this. But actually, I think if they come in and see it from the horse's mouth, you know, wow, that's your journey. Well, that then in turn makes them think, okay, well, I can see myself doing this.
And we are unconventional, the people we've got around us, the staff, the characters. So it sort of blends in lovely in terms of being able to show people how easy it is. I mean, I'm a story on my own. I haven't got a GCSE, and we've done all right, haven't we? So it's just, I think the company and the Platform Project probably link up really well in terms of our values. So I think it's a good thing.
No, definitely. And is that all managed through you guys? So in other words, if someone was hearing this and going, this sounds really good, presumably they come to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We can. Yeah, I mean, so I guess if anybody's listened to this and think, actually, I do need a bit of extra help trying to find work. So we've got quite a few different programs, one of which is around almost like employability preparation, and building some of that confidence, starting to introduce them to employers and things, find out what they are and aren't interested in. And then the next step for us would be these sorts of buddy programs where actually, it's just a day, it's just an afternoon, kind of go and have a look and have a chat, and then we can kind of build the experiences off that.
What's the ages of people?
I would say most young people that we've got in our employability route are usually kind of 18 plus because they're actively job seeking and things. But we do have a program that's sort of 16, 17, 18. So those that are, let's say, almost either deciding whether do I transition to college, do I want to go into work, what are my options? So we do actually look at employability with them from sort of 16 up. But for that, we've got a slightly larger program that might be maybe 2 days a week where they're working on almost like practical projects and like youth enterprise projects and putting pop-up events together that can be added onto the CV as like a coffee shop morning or as a printing T-shirts kind of a business and those sorts of things. So we've got lots of almost like youth-based business projects that they can start cutting their teeth on internally. And then the next step is then working externally with businesses.
Wow. Okay. That's really cool. I'm going to drill this down now, and I may have made some mistakes on this, but bear with me. We're going to look at some of the different roles. The first one, in no particular order, surveyor. So they could be a buddy up on the surveyor side. Is that correct? And what would they do?
Yeah, so we obviously everything we do is bespoke. So we have a surveyor that goes out and measures it all up to the millimetre. And if someone felt that was it was sort of detailed and they liked, the measuring the windows and doors and things like that, then that could be a role that they could go and buddy someone up with. Yeah,
safety as well becomes important in that as well, doesn't it? Assessing all of the different bits and pieces. So that's a good one. Living space designer. Now that sounds really artistic, that one.
They'd be able to learn about our CAD system and
Wow.
be able to draw a new build extension from scratch very quickly.
See it come to life.
Watch them put that new build onto the house of a customer, which we can show them how to do that. And that sort of has computer sales, designing. So there's lots of ways to do that. And I think that'll be a really popular one in terms of getting it off the ground.
Some of the projects that we offer on the employability program is almost like what we call a personal project. So for 4 weeks, depending on their interests, we write them almost like a bit like a fictional brief that would be the kind of thing they might do in that job. And that's exactly one. We had one where we said, actually, you're a town planner and you've been given the brief from your local authority to pitch a environmentally sustainable small town area sort of thing. So they went away there and the drawings they came up with are amazing. And actually when you give them something that feels real, it's amazing what they apply themselves to. Exactly. So that would be a perfect example of, well, look, here's what I've got, Mr. Employer, come and have a look. Could I do a shadowing day? And then just see what comes out of that.
But I love that also adds not just the artistic part, but bringing it to the real world is that then understanding how regulations come into play with the artistic freedom. And I think it's just a wonderful role, that one. Marketing team.
We've got different elements within the marketing team. So we've got guys on the phones, we've got guys out, knocking doors. And I think with that, this is one of the ones that you can come in and see if you like it. I think it's very difficult to describe a job, and we all probably do it, where we've got a preconception of what that particular job's like. Whereas actually being able to come in and see that role and see someone do it and do it well, actually, okay, I could see myself doing that.
I think also with the door can, sorry to butt in there, it's amazing how much confidence that job can bring somebody, because in terms of going on and knocking someone's door and speaking to them as a complete stranger with your leaflets, to be able to do that, makes you so much more confident. And I always tell the story, and it's a true story. The first door I ever knocked on many years ago was, I'm getting old, but I had a plain piece of paper, A4 bit of paper with the sort of script, as it were. And you knocked a door, and the first door I ever knocked on, I asked if Peter was at home. Because I actually knocked the door and thought, oh my God, like completely froze. Someone came to the door and I went, is Peter home? And I always think to myself, luckily they said you've got the wrong housemate. I always think to myself what they would have said.
They said yes.
Oh, I'll just grab Peter.
Yeah.
And I always think to myself, like maybe that I might have taken a completely different career path. If someone would have said, yeah, I'll just get him, I'd have just been stood there. Oh, hi, Pete. What do you say to that?
I'm your pen friend.
Yeah. Do you remember me now? Okay, bye. And in terms of quite quickly over the next days and weeks, and I'm not suggesting that anyone that comes in from the platform point might end up being a door canvasser, but I think what's really important about that particular skill is that's so transferable to any industry, to any job, just having the guts to do that. And what our guys do constantly is train people to be able to do that. And we've had people that have come in, tried that role, and then gone off and worked in retail, worked in this, work in that, because actually
it's life skills.
That life skill,
including resilience, isn't it?
Oh, getting told
because
no.
Exactly.
100 times a day is pretty tough.
And that whole, that means you're one step closer to the yes kind of thing.
100%.
And
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Which transfers to sales in general, I think, doesn't it? Let's not kid ourselves.
And that's probably one of the easiest wins in terms of being able to just give someone some confidence. Yeah. That's a great one to try, because it takes a lot of confidence to knock on a stranger's door. So.
Absolutely.
But then they realise what's the worst that's going to happen. They say no.
So no worse off.
Pete's out.
Yeah.
Pete's out.
But it is an interesting one though, because I think you're right in the sense that what you get from that is the sort of the tenacity and the resilience, but actually for us, I think what's really interesting is that the young people we work with are always receptive and grateful and things, but what we give them is this is what you can expect, whereas what you'd be looking at is actual proper employer training. Yeah. So it's a bit like where your parents say something, you're like, no, it's silly, and then when someone else says it, you're like, oh, it's a real thing, isn't it? Yeah. So it's like I think you guys were like, no, this is really good for you. You've got to learn to pick up the phone and speak to people, and they're like, oh, it's one day, and then when they're with you, it's like, oh yeah, okay, it's a real thing, we need to do it. We get so many young people that have got genuine phobias from just picking up the phone.
Yeah, my daughter's like that.
Yeah.
Ruby. She's just started at Whitney showroom, and at the weekend I was ringing the showroom constantly to make sure she picked it up and said hello TWC. So I was really scared she wouldn't answer the phone.
We do a telephone scripted example where we're like phoning from one extension to the other and say, just read this, and it's terrifying for them until they do it a few times. But it's a real thing. You've got to give those experiences to be able to develop.
Everything's so social media now as well, isn't it? My daughter, sorry Ruth, but this is a true thing. She had a movie night sleepover on Teams.
Yeah, when they're all in their own houses.
They're at their own houses, watching the same movie online, and that blew my mind.
Well, a lot of the streaming things have got the watch parties.
There's a name for it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They've got it on some of the streaming. I think the Disney one or whatever has got it, and you go watch party. And
it is a thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's just incredible.
You thought it was just Ruby.
You thought they were waiting and they were going 3, 2, 1, play.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Sorry, Chris. And I'll be honest, I'm going to Google this when I'm on.
Because you don't trust us.
AI. But yeah, the world's a very different place, isn't it? And those confidence
games,
skills. When we were little, you'd go out, you'd go knock for your friend because you couldn't phone. Your dad wouldn't let you use the landline because it costs so much in the evenings or whatever. Whereas now they do everything through social media. So those skills where you're talking to somebody, they don't talk to people anymore. So I feel like I'm tracking. That's how old we're getting. I'm tracking.
I used to do a thing when I'd be at my girlfriend at the time's house and cycle home, and then I would pick up the landline and just do 2 rings to let her know that I got home.
Ring free.
Remember that?
He gets like 59 minutes and I've got to hang up because it's past the hour and then I'll call you back.
Well, I saw something about that the other day. They said, back in the day when you used to do that, talk for an hour, then I'll hang up and then I'll call back. Whereas now, no one, you have these phones and no one rings anymore.
Everything's unlimited, but we don't use it.
Minutes, It's a different gravy. On the marketing team, the other part though that I was looking at these notes that I love is that it isn't just going and doing. Again, it's not just the creative part. It's understanding strategy, identifying target audiences, having a creative process process to achieve the outcome that you want. And it's about bringing those pieces all in together.
And that's real. That's something
Exactly.
we can't do for them. You know, we can put scenarios and all these sorts of things, but until it's real, then I think they believe they can do it.
Yeah. Put this in to get that out, and I love that. I've got another one here, but I'd imagine it's on the same thing. Promotion team, that's the same context of what we were talking about. Showroom manager, so buddying up with a showroom manager.
Yeah, because I think that with the nice thing about the showroom is that you see all different sides of it. So people coming in, asking questions, you know, some people that want to come in and really have a look at the products and things like that. People we've maybe been able to see quoted before and things like that. So again, that's quite a nice one in terms of quite a soft element, because most people are coming into the door that they're genuinely interested. And that's the one that you said about that building of the confidence, where, you know, you're sat there almost hoping that no one comes in. But actually, once you realise that actually they're quite nice. They come in, you get them a cup of tea, you have a little chat with them, you find out what they want. And that's quite a good one for you know, breaking out of that fear of doing something like that or talking to someone, because it's not knocking on someone's door that maybe might not want you to. It's not ringing someone up out the blue. It's actually just being in the showroom and speaking to customers and things like that.
And also it gives them lots of skills in terms of, you know, when you come into a showroom, don't pressurize them, lay back. It teaches them sort of cues and social awareness, doesn't it?
Make sure you know they're there, but just come and grab me when you need me, you know, and that's the way that we do it.
I think one of the other one that jumps out of me for several of these roles is that learning the devil's in the overthinking. And that I think as humans, we all can be very, very guilty of doing.
It's never as bad as you think it's going to be.
Yeah, and these are the great things. Once you do it, you kind of, okay, that was all right. I mean, you use the example, what's the worst that's going to happen on the door canvas? And they go, no. All right, the worst could be they go, no, rudely, and shut the door. I'll carry on then.
Yeah. No worries, move on.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't, it's not even just about becoming thick-skinned. It's about having those thought processes that stops you just automatically going to the worst.
Once you've done it for a day, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Once you've knocked 100 doors, well, you've got to knock 1,000, so.
Exactly.
It's easy.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm sure is there any that I've missed out on that
Well,
list?
obviously just the installation team.
Of course, sorry, yeah.
So in terms of the actual fitting, as Andy said, you know, we was just speaking to the guys about exactly what they can and can't do in terms of practicality wise. But yeah, I think a lot of the guys that we've got have been with us for years. Some, you know, were trained on the job. Some had previous experience and stuff like that. So actually just them meeting the guys and seeing what is available, because again, it's about what that person is good at. We talk about school, you know, and everyone being looked at the same. Whereas the nice thing about what we've got is there is a plethora of different roles. Well, it depends what, you know, that child thinks that they're going to be able to do or thinks they want to try. So there's nothing to stop them trying a few different roles.
Absolutely. And who knows, is that could open up opportunities, if either with you or elsewhere, because they've gone, that's what I want to do. Yeah. I mean, from your perspective, Sadie, is that it's got to be great to have a company that is opening up, not just opening up full stop, but with a variety of roles that they can have the buddy up opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so understandable with large businesses. It's difficult to get young people in because, you know, people work from home and it's all the kind of the compliance stuff and things. With really small businesses, it's difficult because I'm like, actually, I haven't even got enough time to do all this, my normal stuff, let alone having somebody with me and like, I don't know where I'm going to be and all this sort of stuff. And it's difficult to make that commitment. So to have a business that's growing so quickly, but also has got really firm roots in this is what we stand for. This is the kind of people we really want to provide those opportunities for. Like for us, it's just been amazing.
No, it does sound absolutely perfect, having known that you guys very much with that mentality and that you need the variety of options. It makes sense. Do they have the ability to increase hours or increase what they do, or is this yet to be sort of worked out?
Yeah, I think the nice thing about it is that the options are endless, really, aren't they? As I said, if it goes really well, and actually, we'd like to try proper work experience and do that, and then it can lead to a job. And obviously, it has in the past with certain members of staff that we've got and stuff like that. So it really is. If on one side it's you go in for a couple of hours, it's not for you. That is not going to work. Fine. If it's that actually, you know, a couple of years down the line, they're joined the team, and they're now a member of the management and all that, and everything in between, really.
And you do have at least one that I recall that is in management that started with, the challenges and came up through, and so that's legit. That's really there, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, that's a living, breathing example of that people can come in and see. So yeah, it really is. The options are endless in terms of what it can lead to.
What long-term impact do you hope this programme can have on young people's futures? And I'm going to aim this at TWC to start with. What do you personally, and I'm talking to you as individuals, not just the owners, hope that it has on the long-term futures of more youngsters?
Well, I think for me, as you said, we're talking about maybe kids that haven't had the best start in life, or that, struggle with certain things. But also, when you think about what's just happened, it's a few years ago, but COVID, the difference that COVID's made to young people and things like that. And I think sometimes we, en masse, can be a little bit guilty to think that, young people can't look you in the eye and hold a conversation with you just looking at their phones and stuff like that. But actually, there's a load of brilliant gems out there of people that come in and actually we're showing a bit of help and a bit of assistance, can actually go on to do some brilliant things. Yeah. So for us, we're a company that's absolutely, our whole ethos over the last few years has been about growth, improvement of all facets and all elements of the business. And the one thing that does that is the people. It's the people in the business. We can harp on about it as much as we want, but actually the fact is, I do, well, famously. But it's about the people in your business, and it's about getting good people in your business. And actually, there's nothing better than kind of unearthing gems that maybe people didn't see elsewhere. Someone that maybe didn't tried it there and couldn't get on there, and they come on with us and they absolutely flourish. And I think that's something that is inspirational, really. So that's what it's all about for us, really.
Yeah, and I think in terms of doing this Buddy Up scheme, I think it also gives our team, they realise how important they are. They realise, their job and how good it is. And it makes us improve as well, because to do this type of buddy scheme, we've got to make sure everything's in order and make sure, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think for TWC and the kids, I think it'd be a great growing opportunity. And there's so many things that we've done within the business that have come from a day one rookie. Someone has had an idea that we go, crikey, that's a really good idea. I think one of the things we do on the sales pitch and sales sort of thing actually came from a day one rookie that said this comment, and we was like, that's really good. So actually, the more people you get involved with the business, the better it is. And wherever we can give back a little bit, we're very lucky with the way that the business has been built. If we can give back a little bit and help, then let's do it. And especially from my background, I love it. I think it's great.
And especially youngsters, they have a different perspective. 100%. They've got new
They know how to
ideas.
use stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That we've missed up.
I didn't know about this watch night. No. I do now.
You do.
It turns out me and my wife can, watch a movie in separate rooms.
Absolutely.
Which would be great for her. She didn't know that. I mean, she doesn't watch this. She still doesn't.
I mean, Sadie, I've got almost in my mind his song, and a famous phrase is, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, teach a man to fish.
You had that written down. If you wait,
I did make a note. Because I was like going, no, I didn't. That's why I wrote it down. But there's very much of a feel of that to this as well.
Yeah, and I think what's lovely for me in terms of like the hopes for the young people, that we're looking to engage on this sort of buddy scheme, is to be able to be around other people that can actually genuinely say, you know what, actually, I was in your shoes. I didn't start off with the best, or, I didn't gel particularly well with school, but look, I say to them all, it's like, we've been going, 10 years? I never thought that this organisation would be as big as it is now when I put all those flip charts up on my wall in the kitchen. But I'm like, not one day have I ever felt like I know what I'm doing. Like, I literally get out of bed and I feel like I'm making it up every day. And you know what? Most days I do. But I'm like, we're still here. So you don't need to know the whole pathway. You don't need to feel confident. You just need to give it a go. And I think we say with all the kids we work with, the vast majority of them are only working with us because they've got too much spirit for school, or they've been through so much in their life, they've got too much tenacity to fit into a box. So to come across a business that says, actually, I'm not just looking for somebody in my business that can do the job. I'm looking for somebody who can actually show me the raw materials, and then, you know, let's work this journey together.
Yeah.
You know, I think for us, or the young people we work with, their wins always look so different. We had one young person come in, and they genuinely had to come in with a teddy because it was there a bit like an anxiety dog, kind of a real crutch. And she said, every time I go to an interview, like, I never get it. And she's like, I know why. And she felt really shameful about it. And it was a bless her. But by the end of the 12-week program that we worked with her on, she wasn't bringing it in. And she was like, I found a job. Can you help me put? So for a lot of people, it's like, well, just applying for a job, like, well, so what? But actually for her, that was humongous. Like, she wouldn't even leave her mum's side for the first couple of weeks. Yeah. So the wins that you've got to really recognise are very personal, and I think you guys get that.
Oh, definitely, because I've heard them told to me as stories that it does mean an awful lot to you. I mean, I can even take it the other angle, is that, okay, I was very fortunate. I did GCSEs, A-levels and a degree. I now run a business in the media world. If I look back, I could have done that without, I try not to tell my dad because he's funny, but I could have done that without university. I thought I was going off on one particular direction, and it changed with circumstance. And so it's like to go, look, that isn't the be all and end all. I think that's the message I was really trying to say there, is that
You were just trying to tell us you got a degree. I tried to slip it, isn't it?
I only just slipped it.
Well done, mate.
You know.
No, and it wasn't important, was my point. It was the social skills I learned.
And the thing is, you made eye contact with me then. Oh, I got GCSEs and a degree. Oh, but then
I didn't even spell degree.
See him about the fact
I didn't get any of my GCSEs.
You know, we can't all be as good as you, mate.
Right. But I thought it was a good point. I was
You got a degree, did you?
I did, just. It was
That's
too
for
much
university, isn't
socialising.
it?
Yes. Which was
So
just.
is that what happens when you didn't get a degree, did you?
I spent 3 years at university, mate.
Did you get a degree though?
Pretty much, yeah. University of Life.
Joey always. I'm sorry, I'm outing him now. He'll go really red.
Genuine point made, and it's been butchered again.
Joey always does this. I'm going to let you explain. This is what he does all the time.
Okay, so I didn't actually get my degree, you know, but
You
don't really sort of need to. I just drop in I spent 3 years in Bristol, you know, at uni, and then people assume.
So I'm
so he always helps me.
So he'll also say to someone, he was talking to him, just, you know, nicely, and he'll say, yeah, no, oh, well, they'll say, oh, I went to university and got a degree, and like you just did. And Joe went, oh, I spent 3 years at Bristol. But then he'll leave it, and people, oh, fair play, he's got a degree.
And I have to be honest and say, that is the most important lesson I got from it, was the socialising and everything.
Because he says it so confidently, though, so nobody questions it, right? Come back to confidence.
And it always really annoys me, so I always go, well, did you actually pass?
Did you? So, well, I think I learned a little bit more than something on a bit of paper, mate. The University of Life.
Yes, exactly.
Made the man I am today.
I'm going to move on because it was a point I made.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry, I
changed
spent too
now.
much time on that.
What would you say to other businesses that are considering a similar partnership?
This is our idea, so...
Hands off.
Did you leap out of bed at 3 a.m? No.
No, listen, for us, it's as Andy says, we're massive about where the business has been built. We feel a massive responsibility on our shoulders for the amount of people that work, you know, at our company, and what the bigger effects of that mean. People paying their mortgages, their families, and things like that. You know, we don't take that for granted, and we know how important that is. And so I think for us, if we can help in any small way, and you know, we like to give back, and we like to hear these success stories and stuff like that. But if there's other companies out there that want to get, you know, involved in it, I think Platform Project do such an incredible job, you know, and I'd say a big thing is get down here, come and see it. Because again, in the similar way, I suppose we're saying to these kids, you know, come and see it. Well, actually, when you come down here and you see
really
the success of it, it's incredible.
It's sad. It's on our doorstep, and I didn't know quite how good this was until we came.
So get involved, because they do some brilliant work. And I think, you know, they help one person, then that's massive, isn't it? That's a huge win.
It's all worthwhile, doesn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. Sadie, from your perspective, if there was other organisations that were contemplating a similar sort of partnership, what would you say?
Oh, please do get in touch. As long as, you know, we want to work with as many people as possible, but we're just really conscious that, you know, we need employers who are doing it for the right reasons. You know, it's like those shared values, wanting to give genuine opportunities. But please do, if you would love to get in touch in any way, please just email info@platformproject.co.uk.
Excellent.
Would all of the sort of owners of the business need a degree, or?
Only the ones without confidence.
Wow. What I picked up from that as well, though, is that even if you're there going, well, I don't know, do I have enough roles? Are we coming at it from the right perspective? Is that come and speak with you first?
Yeah,
because
there's so many ways to get involved, even if it's like recording a careers talk around how did you get from here to here. You know, we've had people come in and do volunteering days because, like, when we took on the upstairs space, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even paint. Like, I just don't have enough hands to do everything. So people have come in, and there's always a way to help. So I think it's, if you want to do something good and get involved, I would be incredibly grateful. There's so many things to do.
And I think we're just finally on that. I just think I think Sadie's very kind of talks about what she's done and things like that. But actually, when you look at the journey that this has been on in the last 10 years, it's nothing short of incredible, you know. And so I think fair play to Sadie for what she's done here. It's amazing. And I think that in terms of what we say in terms of the future, right, what happens next year in 5 years, you know, where this could go over the next few years is incredible, but it just needs people's help and support to push it along the way.
I agree. From what the project itself can do, these relationships, I mean, I can read between the lines that this relationship between TWC and Platform is going to sort of evolve and grow over time. And so get the businesses involved. And I like that point, is you say, if there's someone that's got a story to tell that can be inspiring in some way, speak to you, because you put on those sessions, don't you, where the kids get to hear those stories. And they're worth getting involved. All those little things that can make a difference. I think the biggest problem that we as humans will easily go, but I can't make a difference. Yeah, we can. You know, as is shown with your 3 a.m. leap out of bed and put pieces of paper all over the kitchen, is that you stuck with it, you went with it, and it's making a difference to so many. So massive congratulations.
Proud. It's brilliant.
Incredible stuff. Keep up the great work. Give us that email address again.
It is info@platformproject.co.uk. Please do get in touch.
And did you just forget that, or?
No, I knew you were going to read it out, but...
Which presumably therefore means the website is
platformproject.co.uk.
Brilliant. So you can find out all the information there. Equally, we mentioned about the art exhibition. Jump on your website to be able to see that one as well. Thank you so much, Sadie, for letting us.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
It's been illuminating.
Thank you.
Brilliant, and keep up the great work as in the partnership. So thank you very much for your time. If there's any questions, comments, or anything that you have, reach out, and the team will be more than happy to answer, whether that's the Platform Project, TWC, or both together. But until next time, thank you for joining us.